Let's start at the very beginning, shall we? I hear it's a very good place to start. And we're talking about breaking stereotypes. So here goes. I did not grow up in a traditional South Indian household. So there was no early morning, Kausalya, Supraja, Rama, Purva, Sandhya, Pravartate, none of that, right? My parents were in advertising. They were Malayali mavericks. My father, Anu Menon, came from a family of lawyers. He studied science and then joined as a trainee copywriter at Ogilvy and Mather for 300 rupees a month, and 34 years later retired on the board of his directors. But till the very end, my lawyer grandfather would be like, what is this humbug job that Mohan does? I was like, no, it's a real job. Like, he gets paid money. He has stock options. He's bought a house. I mean, it's not Buckingham Palace big, but it's Mohan Menon big. My mother is so posh that she eats idlis with a fork and knife, right? And Minnie can't do small things. Like, she can't make a cup of tea. You send her to the kitchen and she'll burn water. In fact, when I used to go to school, I used to wake her up so she could get ready to go to her ad agency. So like, small things are difficult, but she can climb Mount Everest one-legged on stilettos, you know? Every Malayali family, or rather every self-respecting Malayali family, donates one member to the Gulf. So, Riyadh, Oman, Dubai, like that. So the very Keralite thing that we did was we gave Bahrain my uncle, right? Because Gulf is our native place, no? It's the only place that Malayalis are in majority, and Gujaratis have not managed to make any inroads. So what I'm trying to get at is there was never any, Anu, you should be a doctor or engineer or lawyer pressure. Now, I was a very mousy little girl, and I was that quiet, hard-working child in the corner. After school, I would come home every day and say, whoa, let's do homework. I was that loser. In fact, my autobiography would be titled 50 Shades of Uncool. It's a bestseller in the nerd community. At a parent-teacher meeting, the teacher told my mother, she said, Mrs. Menon, your daughter is not dumb, she's mum. Minnie was very offended, because she would rather have a naughty child than a silent one. But in my defense, it's very difficult to get excited by like chemistry and geometry. Do you know what I mean? Like, what did you want me to do in class? What did you say? H plus O2 gives H2O. What? Sulfuric acid, nitrous oxide. Oh, that Pythagoras, dude, he's such a dude. That theorem was epic. Let's follow him on Snapchat. Hashtag never gonna happen. There's always this preconceived notion that performers are extroverts. Not true. A lot of us are introverts. In fact, performers are silent observers, and we come to life on stage or in front of the camera. And that's the beautiful dichotomy of it, right? So I used to silently observe everyone in school and then rush home and inflict my mother with all the stories of what happened. And she would be like, just go for your school or like school play audition. Why are you doing this to me? I'm like, no, Mama, I'll forget my lines. I'll make an ass of myself. Everyone will hate me. I will be the Pakistan in an India-Pakistan match. Everyone will be like, Anu Begum, hi. Anu Begum, hi. She's like, I'm going to your school principal. I was like, okay, fine, Minnie, calm down. I'll go for the audition. So I went, I got the part, and at the ripe old age of 14, I made my stage debut. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, any part of the world I go to, every stage feels like home. Because every stage in the world gives you that warm, fuzzy, musty, beautiful, welcoming fragrance. Now, post my 10th grade, I chose Commerce, Economics, Accountancy, and Advanced English. My science teachers were devastated. They were like, Anuradha, you scored 88% and you chose Advanced English? But don't you want to work hard anymore? But you dissect a frog so well. So it's like, yeah, but I liked biology. I was interested in biology, but not interested enough to pursue it, right? So in spite of my main duck dissecting skills, I chose poetry over pragmatism, right? Post my 12th grade, my parents encouraged me to go to drama school, which is quite unheard of at the time. So here I was at East 15 Acting School in London, surrounded by like-minded mad hatters, and we would climb imaginary mountains and wade through imaginary waters and learn to breathe through our bottom. Don't ask me to demonstrate on how it's done, I couldn't. Might be illegal. Before graduating, I got an agent, right? And he used to put me up for all these acting parts, and I got nothing. And then one day he sat me down and he said sadly, you know, Anu, you're getting no acting assignments because you don't look stereotypically British Asian. Your hair isn't straight and you're not dusky. I was like, come on, Malcolm. There are no dusky women in India. Only women who haven't used fairness creams yet. In every Indian ad, the girl gets the job only after she becomes fair. And in England, you're telling me you have to be dusky to get it. Kaise ulti duniya chalti hai? So my plan was simple. After London, I was going to move to Bombay and find a job that would fund my theatre habit. That was quite clear. I had to take a portfolio first, right? So I took this horrific one, and the photographer said, you know, Anu, I really struggled for many days to find an angle in which you did not look obese. Thanks. Then a Chennai-based theatre director said, you know, Anu, you're going to Bombay, and the thing is, unfortunately, as a woman, you have to look perfect. So please, surgically remove this mole on your chin. I was like, okay, fine. So I went to the doctor, and I was ready to surgically remove this. And he said, Anu, I'll operate, but it will leave a scar on your face. So I said, hold on. In order to get rid of the blemish on my face, I have to have a surgery that will leave a blemish on my face. This makes no sense. No, I'm going to go to Bombay carrying my imperfections with me as excess baggage. So in Bombay, I met a lot of very encouraging people. There was this one radio producer who said, you know, Anu, keeping all your interests in mind, like this theatre and comedy and voiceovers, you'll get nowhere. So, my humble suggestion is, you know, as a woman, you always have the advantage of marrying money. Then you can do what you want. Well, the thing is now, every son of every top Indian industrialist was taken. So I had to make my own way in the world, damn it! I then met a Bollywood biggie who said, Anu, you're too large. If you were a heroine in my film, I would never let you eat. In fact, I don't let any of my heroines eat on my set. Now, I'm a big fan of starvation, as much as the next person. But this snorting carrots does not work for me as a concept. You know what I mean? So I met many heads of channels, and then finally I met the head of Channel V at the time, who said, Anu, you're mad and fun and crazy, come, let's hang. Sure, we'll hang. But what do I do exactly? You can be a creative researcher. What's a creative researcher? Isn't that an oxymoron? So while I was hanging, I had to think of something to do, and it was really confusing because, you know, for most people, everything south of the Vindhyas and everyone south of the Vindhyas is a Madrasi. So I used to get a lot of, hey Anu, you can't be South Indian, you're not black and you don't have buck teeth. Now, the thing is this, my grandmother was milk white, okay, like 100% pure, all natural, unadulterated, no artificial preservatives and ingredients added kind of milk white, okay? And I went to an orthodontist for my teeth, so yeah. Then they would be like, oh, every time Rahul Dravid or VVS Lakshman drop the catch, 100 pairs of eyes look at me with hatred. Oh, these bloody South Indians. You know, because I have these magical controlling powers over the South Indian match-fixing mafia. Don't I have an honest face? Okay. So I'm not cut out to be cool. So I thought, in this eureka moment, what if we create a character that you would never expect to see on a hip music channel? Someone who was the antithesis of cool, right? So the channel, there was much deliberation, and they decided to take a risk, and luckily it paid off for all of us, and Lola Kutty was born. And she was this bespectacled, sari-clad, traditional, conservative, gajra sporting, glasses wearing, spinster Malayali woman who interviewed Bollywood stars. My makeup artist was very upset. He was like, babes, usually my work is to make women look pretty, and in your case, I have to do the opposite. If I put on my resume, I did Lola Kutty's makeup, I will not get any future assignments. No brands wanted to sponsor the show. Like sari brands took their pallus and ran in the opposite direction. Opticians did not see the potential in aligning with Lola. But I took it to heart when jewelry brands said Lola wasn't precious enough. I'll tell you why. Because diamonds may be a girl's best friend, but for us Kerala girls, all that glitters is only gold. I hit a real low point when the Gajra guy said no to me. But I say none of this, you know, for sympathy. I'm used to rejection. In fact, when my husband and I were engaged, they were telling the family, and my show was coming on television. So they turned to his grandmother and said, Nani, this is Anirudh's fiancé. He's going to marry her. Poor woman thought she got cataract. And then she was like, is Anirudh's self-esteem so low that he's marrying that? But he's Gujarati, whatever. I even got a proposal from a very upstanding Keralite family. And the mother was like, my son is willing to marry Anu in spite of the fact that she's Lola. But I was like, I'm willing to say no in spite of the fact that I'm Lola. See, every girl goes through this eligibility phase in life, right? Where everyone wants to set you up with a doctor from America, right? And by 25, my family friends were freaking out. My parents were okay, but my family friends. I had one uncle take me surreptitiously into a corner at a party once and said, Anu, you better find a husband quickly. Because in your line of work, you'll never find anyone. And the more popular you become, no one will marry you. He said this very sweetly, all the while his hand on my bare back. Indian uncles. I even got this offer from a very dodgy film producer who said, Anu, I think you'd be perfect for my film. You know, the role is of a girl who is an alcoholic, drug junkie, nymphomaniac. And given your image on television, we thought you'd be ideal. I was like, you watch Lola Kutty on Channel V and you thought, yes, that is the ideal candidate to play an alcoholic, drug junkie, nymphomaniac. I'm doing something very wrong here. But the high point for me, the highest point, was when I went to interview Shah Rukh Khan at his residence. And his security guard looked at me and he said, hey, Lola madam, kaisi hai aap? Aapke saath ek picture le sakta hu kya? And I was like, this is the security guard of the biggest movie star in this country and he recognizes me. Me! My work here is done. I can die in peace. Mic drop. I got some hate mail though. Yeah, from a guy in Kerala called Baiju. He said, I hope God forgives you for earning money this way. But I mean, his name is Baiju. He has real problems in life. The thing about stereotypes is, they're not all wrong or all bad. Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, right? What is a joke? A joke is truth-telling with a dash of humor and exaggeration. You laugh because the underlying basis is the truth. Now, if I am playing a character that is a conservative woman who's a spinster, who's a layman interviewing people who are glamorous, I can't look like this and sound like this, right? I have to convincingly portray another human being. So the accent and the accessories are an integral part of the package. Not the whole package, but an integral part of it. I'm often surprised because we live in a country where we get so het up about the wonderful things that make us us, you know? Like the way we speak our native tongue seeps into the way we speak English, so what? Like a French guy will be like, oh, you are so beautiful, you are stunning, you are très sexy, and we'll be like, oh, adorable. But a poor Guju guy will be like, allocation, communication, congratulations, and be like, chia, so down market. Why? I was part of a play, and we were performing in Cochin, and my role was of a wannabe Punjabi socialite, right? There was a woman in the audience who turned to my friend and said, oof, this is that Anu Menon who plays Lola Kutty. It's a travesty. Can you imagine making fun of us like this? Isn't it awful? Yet she proceeded to laugh at every Punjabiism of mine, every Punjabi mispronunciation, every Punjabi mannerism, every Punjabi pronunciation. And the hypocrisy I found fascinating, because we are a country where we feel like, you make fun of other people, I will LOL, ROFL, LMAO. But you make fun of me and I will get very angry, because मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. Even in stand-up comedy, you know, you can, it's a telling difference. Like when between a male stand-up comedian and a female stand-up comedian. At the end of a show, the male stand-up comedian will look like he hasn't showered in 5 days, and chicks will be like, oh my God, you're so funny, you're so cute, let's take a selfie now. Okay? The most a female stand-up will get is, hey, you're quite funny, huh? For a woman. Because a sexy man is a funny man, but a sexy woman is Jennifer Lopez. But after 2 drinks, my husband always says I look like J-Lo. Yeah. There was once even this stand-up comedy competition that I was judging, and my co-male judge looked at the female participant and said, I don't care for your content because what you're saying is very unladylike. And this is where I have a problem. Because personally, I don't like scatological humor, right? Potty humor. That's my personal preference. But I'm not saying it's more acceptable from a man than a woman. If you don't like something, you don't like something, period, irrespective of the source, because gender should not play a part, right? So this point I'm trying to make, rather incoherently, is this. Because of my Lola image, I may never get an item number. Sad. I have to deal with rejection on a daily basis. That's the nature of my business, right? I'm too tall, not tall enough, too fair, not fair enough, too fat, not fat enough, too posh, not posh enough. And I have to take it all and be zen about it, and that's fine. But all I say is, pour your heart into everything you do. Pour your heart into everything, into the pakodas you're frying, into the dumbbells you're lifting at the gym, into the relationship you're in, into the song you're singing in the shower, into screaming at the customer care guy on the phone, into that hot red dress you just ordered online. Invest your heart and invest in your heart, and it will always pay dividends. So thank you.